the challenge with multi-carrier is that effectively, when you move from one carrier to many, it introduces complexity, right? It's certainly not going to be simpler. So I think if you're working with a single carrier and you go to multiples, it's going to introduce the complexity. And it's a really good example, though, of where software is there to kind of take that complexity and turn that into a structural advantage for you. And I think, again, like, we've kind of been hammering this on this particular podcast, but if you don't kind of embrace technology as this enabler there, then it seems like a net negative thing. And I think traditionally retailers almost think of multiple carriers as a liability when they should think about it as an asset, but that's all about having that different perspective from a technology perspective, right? And so, we're essentially doing, we do several things, but one of the things we do is we're kind of saying, we're going to virtualize all of your contracts with all your carriers, and then you're going to call us, and it's just as easy as calling a single carrier, but now we're going to go out and figure out what meets the transit time requirements that you have, and what's going to do it with the cheapest possible cost. And from your standpoint, it's just as simple as if you're working with one carrier, and that's kind of our goal in this exercise. But if you don't have the right technology, that's certainly not the case. And I think that's it's an example where kind of looking at the world through this lens of this is the way the world was in 1990 is not really applicable to the way the world is now, where you have the ability to use dynamic models that can make these decisions for you and give you improved speed, improved cost, improved, reduction of risk, because you're not beholden to one thing. And that's the magic of kind of moving to a tech first approach.
Well, gone are the days of, hey, can I have 6 months of your shipment history, origin, destination, zip, length, height, width, and then, I don't know, somebody comes back with something when I would negotiate a contract. I'd rather do about anything than go through a large FedEx or UPS contract, truly. And I know how to do it, and I'd really rather do about anything. Andy, when customers join the Better Trucks delivery network, what are some of the changes in their organization you see in the first 90 days of working with them?
Typically, our network is built around this 1 to 2 day promise. So that's typically a big differentiator they're seeing. We have a much larger 1 day promise than many other carriers in our region. We're trying to continue to expand that network, but primarily that's the biggest advantage that they're seeing is a larger 1 day network at a very competitive price. Quality, we're really proud of our quality, and we expect there's a lot of improvements that they see there. Also, redundancy and reliability, as Jason mentioned, with the multi-carrier strategy, you have that. Our complexity is we are no more complex than all the other carriers, usually feeding back into many different integration points that we have that give them the ability to see or better visibility, so they shouldn't have any problems there. But typically it's just better speeds and solid delivery experience.
Yeah, I think as we continue to work together, the other aspect of that is that faster shipping. There's obviously the nice aspect of it arriving faster, but it's also about communicating upstream that this is going to arrive faster, which is for retailers is a big conversion mover, right? And so wiring that into the rest of the industry outside of Amazon, is kind of my personal passion and mission, just because it makes, I think I often say that shipping is the most expensive part of an e-commerce business. It's also the biggest conversion driver in an e-commerce business. And so you really need to think about it a lot. It should be, if it's not number one on your list, it should be, in terms of both communicating that fast speed so you can drive the revenue side, and then also just making sure you hit it so you're keeping that customer loyalty and trust.